Good morning, and thank you for joining us on Daybreak Extra. It's a beautiful Saturday morning as usual, and as you can tell, we're super excited to be here. I'm Dasha and Husseina Usman. Hope you had a wonderful week. I know the week comes with its own challenges, and for most of you, this week is the beginning, or was the beginning of the work week for you since you came back from the holidays, and we hope that it was as productive as you expected it to be. Now, this weekend promises to be a lot better, but while we're on the show, I would love to introduce to you someone very, very special, my co-anchor on the show this morning, Sumaya. Sumaya, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining me. It feels good, for you to be here. Yeah.
Okay, I feel like then there should be a bottle popping, for me in my honor.
Okay, we'll actually give you
First
tea
day.
instead. Tea. It's
Okay.
tea is what you're going to have
Yeah,
instead.
tea will be cool too.
So what are expectations?
For today, hopefully, since I woke up in a good mood, good vibe,
You had to.
and even though it's a bit chilly out,
Yeah,
but
it is.
then I'm expecting it to be really good today.
Yeah, it will.
Yes,
definitely
I want to
be
have this smile like all through today,
Yeah.
because Saturday is the time to just relax. So
But since
hopefully
you're
we
at
get
work,
to relax.
you can actually relax while working as well.
If you say so.
All right, so today on the show, we have lots of interesting lineup for you. We'll be discussing with a journalist on youth and politics. We'll also have a 3D installer here as a guest on the show, and we'll be linking up with our team in Katsina for the governorship debate this morning as well. But before we go into all of that, the newspaper review comes up right after this break.
In a situation where you find that they must look at the same
not necessarily tribal or regional.
But I have said that.
All right, welcome back, and thank you for staying with us on Daybreak Extra this morning. Right now, it's time for the newspaper review, and we will start by reeling headlines or, stories, major stories from the front page of Daily Trust newspaper. That's Daily Trust Saturday. Now, the lead story here says VIPs in bulletproof vehicles send 43 security aides to graves. And we have writers here that says 2022 recorded highest victims, families yet to get compensation, IGP asked to review personnel's redeployment, police mum. And you could actually see an infograph of a breakdown of police officers attached to VIPs who were killed from 2021 to 2023. 2021 recorded 12 police officers killed. 2022 recorded 27 police officers killed. 2023 recorded 4 police officers killed already, and we're still in the early month of January. Now, you can find details of that story on page 4. At the top of the page, you have Daily Trust governorship debate holds in Katsina today on page 6. Gunmen kidnap DPO in Plateau. We also have NNPC to drill first oil well in Nasarawa, March. More stories on Encounter. You have Meet Maiduguri teenage IDP who built military jet prototype. Quite an interesting story there. Moving on, a feature story one of the feature stories on Daily Trust Saturday talks about Kano's 10 megawatt Tiga Dam set to solve water security challenges. If you want to read up more on that story, you can find details of that on page 8. And on the footnote there, you have Supreme Court affirms Abasiotu as Obong of Calabar in page 7. And these are some of the stories on the front page of Daily Trust Saturday.
Next, we would go with the Nation's newspaper Saturday. At the top of it, you'd see APC, PDP clash over poll postponement claims. And down you see Ono to Obi, voters won't hand over sick Nigeria to quack. You would find this news at on page 5. And then by the side you see Oshun election. Parties adopt final addresses. Tribunal reserves judgment. There were infractions in 1,750 polling units, not 749. INEC cancel. And then in the glaring headline, you'll see Tinubu said that he will run private sector driven economy. Under it there is says nothing wrong with a budget deficit, fuel subsidy to go. And another punch, court dismisses PDP suit seeking disqualification of Tinubu and Shetima. You'd find this news on page 4 of the Nation's newspaper Saturday. And then there's a pictorial of the pictures of Tinubu and some of the governors, Niger Economy Summit Group. Down, you'd see ADC presidential candidate Kachuku test positive for COVID-19. This is on page 6 of the Nation. And next to it, there is NNPC begins oil drilling in Nasarawa by March, said Kyari at page 7. And down you see PDP crisis, but BOT member dumps party over zoning. And beside it, there's Bauchi governor backs Atiku as Wike sustains threat, declines to campaign for ex-VP. And also there is disarray in Imo over Ihedioha and Nyaun rivalry. You would find this at page 5 of the Nation's newspaper. And by the side, you see Supreme Court dethrones Obong of Calabar. And at the bottom of the newspaper, you'd see Buhari to transmit new revenue formula to NARS, RMAFC. You'll find this at page 7 of the Nation's newspaper. Now, these are some of the stories we have on the Nation newspaper Saturday.
All right, moving on, we will take a look at Blueprint Weekend. And on Blueprint Weekend, the lead story here talks about 42 days to polls. Parties in last alliance talks as campaigns hot up. And we have writers here that says election will determine future of Nigeria. USAID others. INEC Chair Kwankwaso Obi to speak at Chatham House. Peter Obi challenges other candidates on educational records health status. APC plotting to the real presidential election, PDP alleges. You can find details of that on page 5. Now, beside that, but that particular lead story is couple, 2 kids killed by electric spark in Zaria. We also have on entertainment, my dream is to write scripts for films that will benefit society, says Yusra AGM Bashir. At the top of the page there, Nasani seeks a release of 1% allocation from Federation account. And the big question, Amina Ndalolo, Jibril Aminu, where are they now? Moving to the bottom of the page, for failing to resign, Apex Court nullifies PDP reps candidate's nomination. ADC presidential candidate Kachiku tests positive for COVID-19. FX celebrates as Supreme Court resolves 15-year Obong of Calabar stool tussle. And on the footnote there, anxiety mounts over new Naira notes deadline. And these are some of the stories that made it to the Blueprint weekend.
And next we'll go to the Vanguard Saturday. In the glaring headline, we see COS activist, clerics hope Buhari's assurance on free, fair polls may not feel like 2015 promises. You would find this on page 9 of the newspaper. And at the top of the newspaper, you'd see Edo train attack, 7 days on. Igweben monarch opens up at night, falls on town. This is on page 14. And then you see policemen in rescue operation of kidnapped magistrate dead. You'll find this on page 9 of the Vanguard Saturday. And down you'd see presidential election, PDP loses bid to disqualify Tinubu. This is on page 5. And then we'll see hitches as millions of PVCs await collection. And this you would find on page 10 of the Vanguard newspaper. Below, at the bottom of the newspaper, you'd see Afrima last online to nick it's for Burna Boy. African superstars on showdown in Senegal. You'll find this on page 18 of the Vanguard Saturday. Now, these are some of the stories that you find on Vanguard today.
All right, up next is Saturday's Sun. And on Saturday's Sun, beside the nameplates there, you have Yoruba Nation, how alleged fraud divided self-determination movement. And then below that nameplate, we have 2023, court dismisses PDP suit seeking disqualification of Tinubu and Shatima. The big story there, anger over PVC collection. We have northern leaders raise alarm. Prospective voters can't access cards after spending hours at collection centers. We're being disenfranchised even before polls. You can find details of that story on page 28. More stories. JAM begins sale of 2023 UTME forms. Leader Nigeria needs now by Obasanjo. And a writer here that says, I regret that what we thought Nigeria would be isn't what we're having now, says Tankoya Kase. And we also have a story here on tension as Oshogbo and their communities claim ownership of Osun State senatorial land. Supreme Court dethrones Obong of Calabar. And we also have Ezefe, Southeast monarchs explain Igbo, others support for Obi. Urge Nigerians to vote competence, capacity, not tribe, religion. Bianca to Tinubu, what the Igbo need from Nigeria. And these are some of the stories on Saturday's Sun.
And next would go to Saturday Independent. At the top left of the newspaper, you'd see late Akunyele's daughter Ijoma becomes first black CMO of U.S. hospital. You'll find this on page 31. And next to it, we have PDP rudderless, afraid of its own shadows, says APC. You will find this at page 31. And then at the top right, you'd find Peace Anyam Osigwe's last interview, where she said, I started AMAA to create reward networking for black filmmakers. Now this you'd find on page 18 of the Saturday Independent. And at the bold headline, you see 2023 rights activists warn terrible consequences on polls postponement cancellation. And below it, you see, say it will be more terrible than June 12th. Election remains sacrosanct, says PDP. And nothing must stop general elections, says IPAC. And another punch, we have it will hold, but federal government must do more, says Professor Obafemi. You'll find all this on page 8 of the Saturday Independent. And next we have Buhari's neutrality aided my victory as governor of Osun State, says Governor Adeleke. You find this on page 3. And down at the bottom of the newspaper, you see why G20 nations should agree on common agenda to reduce debt burden, inflation, says Buhari. And next to it, you'll find this story on page 7 of the Saturday Independent. Next to it is Roni G exploring endless possibilities. This is on page 9. And at the last bottom of the newspaper, you see NECA explains why Nigerians' debt profile may hit 77 trillion naira by June. And this would be on 31 on the Saturday Independent. And those are the stories we have on Independent Saturday.
All right, so moving on, Saturday Telegraph lead story here says APC Guber candidates in Oyo, Rivers, others unhappy, says ruling party win opposition G5 governors instead of supporting them. Integrity Group only raising the stakes will stick back Atiku, says Akinjide. APC orchestrating violence to truncate next month's election, says PDP. Supreme Court throws out Abacha family's application to stop forfeiture proceedings, sacks PDP from Imo West senatorial race, dethrones Obong of Calabar, and court dismisses PDP suit seeking to disqualify Tinubu and Chitima as well, on pages 6 and 26. Peace talk must not endanger our people, IPOP tells Army. At the top of the page there, Ainde Barrister's son says my father would have loved to be an alpha, not a musician. An alpha, not a musician. Says he told us to stay out of his rivalry with Collington. And debt burden has derailed country's development plans, Buhari laments. As Adeleke visits president, says he benefited from electoral act. More stories beside the lead story there. We have AML, CFT, CBN issues guidance on beneficial ownership. Tinubu says to achieve economic recovery, we must resolve insecurity. And murdered lawyer Bolanle Rahim for burial January 17. We also have Abia. Ghastly auto accident claims 7 lives as passenger bus rams into trailer. These are some of the stories on Saturday Telegraph.
And next would go to the First News Saturday. At the top there of the newspaper, you'd see Naira redesigned. We won't extend deadline on return of old notes. CBN wants. And below there, you see NNPC discovers oil in Nasarawa. Says drilling of first oil will begin. Oil well begins March 2023. And beside that, you'd see PDP crisis. Wike maintains stance, refuses to campaign for Atiku. And down you see at the middle of the newspaper a pictorial where it says NDLEA chairman Marwa emerges First News Man of the Year 2022 as media company declares him a legendary performer in public offices. And below that you'd see Kwankwaso Obi Yakubu to speak at Chatham House. Next to that, you see Supreme Court dismisses Abacha family's bid to stop fresh probe. And then on the right side of it, you'd see 2023 Supreme Court affirms Jigawa Deputy APC Guber candidate, dethrones Obong of Calabar. Beside that, you'd see Atiku returns from UK trip as ally ABC Nwosu dumps PDP over zoning. And at the bottom of the newspaper, okay, I think with that, that's some of the stories on the First newspaper.
All right, next is the Guardian newspaper, Guardian on Saturday. A lead story there, Kidnappers, vandals threaten $4.12 billion railway infrastructure. We have Supreme Court dethrones Obong of Calabar. G5 governors will soon shut door of reconciliation, Wike warns. Buhari canvasses agreement on how to reduce debt burden inflation. And there's a pictorial there of the National Security Advisor, Babagana Mungono, the president, flanked by other dignitaries at a wedding of the daughter of the late Chief of Staff to President Malam Abba Kyari at the National Mosque in Abuja yesterday. Now, we have more stories here. Africa superstars stormed the car for Afrima Teranga edition on Saturday's special. High bride price, extortion of grooms, and dignity of Igbo women in marriage. Nigerians, that's on interview, Nigerians have forgotten that they are stronger together. And on Guardian Woman, men are comfortable to be bossed by capable women, says Omotunde Lawson. These are some of the stories on Guardian on Saturday.
And we'll head to Leadership Weekend. At the left top of the newspaper, you'd see Supreme Court dethrones Obong of Calabar, affirms Namadi as Jigawa APC Guba candidate. At the right top of the newspaper, you'd see PDP APC at war over alleged plot to scuttle 2023 polls. And down, you'd see a Leadership newspaper, a reflection of Nigeria's geo-ethnic diversity, says Ogwani, and says Governors of the Year award is motivation to do more. And then at the glaring headline there, you see Prince Harry secretly obtained police files on mother's death. This you'd find on page 4 of the Leadership Weekend. And below that, you'd see observed photos showed no physical injuries on Diana Spencer. Says, I stared trying to make myself cry, but I couldn't. Like wild dogs, paparazzis feasted on her defenseless body. And down, you'd see NNPC to drill first oil well in Nasarawa by March, says Kyari. This you'd find on page 6 of the Leadership Weekend. There is a big pictorial there, but then at the bottom of the newspaper, you'd see PMB asks Global South to agree on common agenda to reduce debt burden and inflation. This you would also find at page 6 of the newspaper. And troops kill 2, rescue 30 kidnapped victims along Nasarawa-Abuja boundaries. Also on page 6. And at the bottom right, you'll see Naseni pleads for release of 1% from Federation accounts. And this you'd find on page 9 of the newspaper. And these are some of the stories we have on the Leadership Weekend.
Okay, and with that, we're done reeling stories from major newspapers, from across the country. We'll take a look at Daily Trust Saturday, a few stories from Daily Trust Saturday. Now, we'll start with numbers, as usual. Now, the number of nurses in Lagos State University Teaching Hospital that resigned their appointments in last 3 years is 150. Now, I know a lot of people, if you read the news, there's lots of talk about doctors resigning and moving abroad.
And yes.
But they hardly talk about nurses. So 150 in the last 3 years, not as much as the doctors, but you still have them leaving.
It's still a lot. I feel like nurses do, I wouldn't say, they do more of the work in the hospitals. When we go there, before you see the doctor, you meet the nurse. And so they're really important in the hospitals. But then... the jackpot system is
everybody wants a
everybody wants a better a better life. I saw a news of one lady, she's a nurse, and then she was moving from London, from the UK to the USA.
She was jackpotting from
Exactly. She's saying that there is much competition of Nigerian nurses over there. So she needs to go somewhere that should be rare and more valued.
And that's why you have a lot of them going to Canada, going to Sweden as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
All right. So the number of registered voters nationwide, comprising over 49 million males and 44 million females eligible to vote in this year's general elections, is 93.4 million. That's quite a lot.
What?
Yeah, 93.
Okay, women who are the voters. Excuse me. Why are we not having female, should I say,
we'll get there.
Politicians? Since we are the one doing the voting, I feel like we should do more.
No, we're not the only ones doing the voting.
We're the most.
We're more, definitely.
And if we should decide that a woman would win, we can get that. I'm telling you.
We'll get there. We'll definitely get there. All right, so moving on. The number of 3 senior and 1,490 other officers Nigerian Customs Service promoted to next ranks is 1,493. Of course, 3.149.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so 1,493, which is quite a number.
It is
well
a
deserved,
number.
if you ask me, by the way. I think, I don't remember which of the services, sacked a lot of their workers, because of corruption. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Within the week, but you also have these promotions, which is a good one.
Yes, it is. It is good news, honestly.
All right, so the number of youths National Directorate of Employment trained and empowered with starter packs in Plateau State. In all of Plateau State. Why are you laughing? In all of Plateau State, 26.
Seriously? What happened?
I have no idea.
Why are the numbers small, though?
Only 26. Only 26.
Oh, that's not good.
Okay, so let's take a look at one of the feature stories that we have, which is on page 5. On the Edo train attack, residents and survivors, lament a lack of security, not just, in the train station, but in the area, which is really, really a sad one. We've seen so much what insecurity has actually done to the northern communities. We're seeing what it's doing in Katsina, what is happening in some parts of Zamfara as well, and it's really, really sad.
It's sad, honestly. I feel like the first thing when it comes to what the masses want or need is security. And when there is that fear of you moving freely in your own country, then
or in your own community,
or in your own community, you would have fear of going out for you to even go there, and when you are the breadwinner to go and get that daily bread. Oh my God, that's really sad.
We still see reports and stories of, bandits coming into a community and kidnapping people, and all that. But while all these are happening, something commendable is happening as well. In Zamfara State, we see that, NSCDC actually intercepted 160 bikes en route to these bandits, which is very, very, applaudable.
That's a really good thing.
And 28 informants arrested as well.
How are these
are the issues.
growing
these
like
informants
this?
are actually the main issues. They're the major issues.
They come in, gain the trust of the community members, and then get info.
No, most of them are even the community members.
That's hurtful.
Yes, most of them are the community
Imagine you making it easy for someone to hurt your own community.
Well,
that's so
as long as there's money involved, and man can be selfish and man can be greedy as well. All right, so let's take a look at entertainment. P-Square is set to drop new album in 2023. Now, they've gone from brothers to enemies, and now they're back again.
Are they back as brothers or as business partners, though?
More like business partners.
Yeah.
Well, I've never seen a situation where twins have, I don't know, twin love gone sour. I've never seen that.
Sometimes it tends to, because I've always seen twins having issue like every few minutes.
They quarrel, they fight,
exactly.
But
then
not to the extent
long, it was. I feel like what actually made their I don't know, brotherhood or the relationship sour extremely was because everybody just finally realized that they had someone else in their corner. And then the brother in the middle, that is the Jude,
the older brother who is supposed to be,
exactly.
the
mediator, the person drawing them together.
He was supporting one person
exactly.
and left the other
so
one.
the other felt super hot, and then the thing escalated. That was really sad. Okay. But I'm glad they had sense to come back. I hope that the business would boom as it used to.
Well, let's wait to hear what the album is all about. All right, so still on entertainment, just before we wrap up quickly, Anikulapo, the movie tops list of the most watched Netflix Niger movies in 2022.
I have not watched it.
Oh yeah, I did it. You've not seen it.
Oh my God! Okay, I need to go and watch it in order to catch up.
It was in Yoruba, but you had subtitles and you could actually understand everything, and it was very, very interesting. A lot of people had negative comments.
Critics, it's normal.
No, they criticized it, but to me, yes,
it's normal.
As some of the effects, were kind of
extra.
Yeah, no, not extra. They weren't as up to par as they should. But the message was passed. That's the most
I'm a lover of Kule Remy. I'm a huge fan. So
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah. Yes. So I am sure that he brought in his best with who was the lead actress? I think it was Bimbo Ademoye. Yes. So I want to watch that too.
Yeah, Bimbo.
Please, there should be lenient on our Nigerian filmmakers. It's not easy.
Okay. All right. So now we'll just take one more on Round and About. 5 months to go, and El Rufai, that's the governor of Kaduna State, El Rufai raced to complete several market projects, and the government actually says we will deliver them before we leave office. This is what you expect to see a lot of
I have to
leaders.
Say, yeah, exactly. Kaduna States
finish up
lucky.
what you started, and don't leave it to the next government, because the next government might not want to continue from.
But the next government should.
Yeah,
I feel like it should be a continuity. So if you come and meet an unfinished project, then you should push it forward and finish.
But especially if it's a different party, they might not want to continue. They might want to have their own idea. They might have their own ideas and want to start with that. So that, oh, I didn't finish up what this last government started. This is me. I started this and I'm ending this. And that's not the mentality.
The mentality should change, honestly. I feel that it should change.
Okay, well, with that, we've come to the end of the newspaper review. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we will be discussing youths and politics. Stick around.
But in a situation where you find that they look at the same,
not necessarily tribal or regional.
I have said that.
As part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening.
Now looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130.
Treated a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secure are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the
Really, if you look at England squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at
That's great. It's good to see you.
All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. It's still Daybreak Extra on Trust TV. And right about now, we have our first guest in the studio already, and we will be opening up the phone lines as well to discuss youth's inclusiveness in politics and how you think we can change the narrative moving forward. Now, joining us on the segment is Mukhtar Ahmed Jarmajo. He is a lecturer in architecture, a certified management consultant, and a public affairs commentator, and he is also a member of the Bauchi State APC Governorship Campaign Council. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on Daybreak Extra.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's start with this, right? Now, do you think the Nigerian government or the Nigerian system encourages youth inclusiveness, especially when it comes to politics?
Yes, especially recently, we have seen this not too young to run, legislation that actually gave the youth the opportunity to be able to participate in the democratic process, which will now give them the opportunity to participate in the decision-making process. You see, all this issue of participation, inclusiveness, the way I see it is that a human being is just like a set. And then you have the issue of gender, you have the issue of age, you have the issue of ability and disability. These are subsets now. And so because democracy is something that deals with representation, in order for the society to develop, while you are trying to make decisions, you must bring all these subsets so that they can give their input. And that will help you to do exactly what will bring about development as well as peace in the society. So to be fair to the Nigerian government, at least we have seen the not too young to run legislation that gave the opportunity And that was why we got the youngest member, of the National Assembly, Mansur Manusoro, who is from my state, from Bauchi. He's the youngest member, at the House of Representatives. And we have also seen where some, governors were able to give political appointments to some young people, and they are doing well. Go to Kaduna, you see this Nur Khalil, who is doing excellently well at the investment, agency in Kaduna. I think we are seeing some progress
even in
this.
Bauchi State as well.
We have a commissioner who was even my junior in the university.
Commissioner of Education as well.
Yeah, the recent commissioner, not even that one. I think Nuruddin Muhammad or something like that. I've forgotten his name. The commissioner for this natural resources.
Okay.
He was my junior in the university. But there are issues attached to all these. When you are given the opportunity, now you must be able to make a difference. We will now look at that issue of performance. You must be able to add value. Otherwise, the whole essence of giving youth the opportunity to participate in the process will be defeated.
But we've seen more of men, going into this youth, taking advantage of this youth youth in politics. But women are feeling a bit left behind. What do you think the female youth should do or need to do in order to, participate full hand in politics?
Well, you see, generally is a two-way thing, as I've always said, because my belief is that if there is a problem, one thing you need to do is first to look inside of you, and then secondly, look outside. And that is why it is a two-way thing. The opportunity has been given, and now if you look at the female now, which is a subset of human, the human being, the humanity itself, human being, which is a subset. Here in Africa or in Nigeria, we can say there are issues of, limitations by both, religion, culture, and what have you. But as I have said, generally, we are seeing some level of improvement. Now, for the female, what they need to do is to try as much as possible to get themselves involved. Now, the secret is that nobody will give you anything good, just freely. You have to go out, you have to reach out for it, you have to struggle for it. And that is the only way you can get it. You cannot just get anything good on a platter of gold. So my advice, my suggestion to the female is that they get themselves involved more. One of the problems we are facing now, which I have, I've been watching things, the way things are happening, some youth, even the male, believe that they are so important that you have to call them, come and participate in the process, simply because they believe they have some kind of knowledge or they have some kind of experience. It is not like that. You have to get into the process, participate, show that you have something, you have value to add in the process. That is the only way you will be, significant. You become a stakeholder in the entire, architecture of the political, process, and then you will now be involved henceforth. But nobody will just go to your home, knock at your door, Mr. A or Mrs. A, come and participate in this thing. You have to go there, you have to establish the relevance itself. So my advice to not just the female, all of us, let's get ourselves involved.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question on what you just said, that, being in the process. But before we do that, you can actually put your calls through and tell us what you feel about youth inclusiveness in politics and how you think we can change the narrative. And the phone number to call is actually on the screen. Okay, so talking about the process, is it enough to be in the process or be, part of the process? When it comes to politics, a lot of people would actually think you need godfathers to be able to move ahead in politics.
You see, I like being practical. I like being practical. Nothing happens overnight. You have to start from somewhere. You grow. And the lesson in life is that you have to learn to follow, and then someone will also follow you. While you are following, you have to work with those who are at your top. They will guide you. They will become your mentors. The reality of life is that you have to have a mentor. Sometimes we look at it as the issue of godfatherism and what have you, but the reality of the thing is that you have to have a mentor who will help you not only in guiding you on what to do and what not to do, but also in establishing your network.
All right, we already have calls coming through. Let's find out who's on the line. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on Daybreak Extra. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Morning, I'm Peter Ashian. I'm calling from Bogo.
All right, Peter, let's have your take on this topic of discussion.
Yes, my contribution is that if the youth are
we actually seem to be having getting feedback. Okay, Peter, you'd have to call us back. We seem to be getting feedback, from you. So the topic of discussion is youth inclusiveness in politics or leadership positions. What do you think, or how do you think we can change the narrative? So feel free to call the number on the screen.
And please do not forget to stay away from your TV set.
Definitely, very important.
Someone want to hear what they say.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we have yet another call. Let's see. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, can you hear me? All right, at least I think we lost that call. All right, so sorry for cutting you short earlier.
So what I was trying to say is that you have to have a mentor who will guide you, not only on what to do and what not to do, but also in terms of establishing your network. You see, you have to be dynamic and versatile in all that you do in life, be it in your professional practice, be it in your social life. Now, when you talk about politics, you are talking about network. And to establish this network, you have to be in the system for a very long time.
Yes, indeed. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Can you speak up and can you stay away from your TV set? Hello? Okay, so we can actually make out what you're saying. Please call back. Please call us back.
So to cap it all, the issue of godfatherism certainly is something that we need to look at, but the truth is that we need mentors who will help us in establishing and perfecting our plans so that we become successful.
So godfatherism is necessary?
Well, it depends on the way you look at it, or it depends on how it is done, but certainly you need a mentor.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us on Daybreak Extra. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning. I'm Salihu Bomi from Lapai local government.
In Niger State. Okay, Salihu, thank you for joining us. Let's have your contribution.
Today, the topic is youth inclusiveness in politics and way forward, right?
Yes.
That is very interesting.
Okay, we actually lost him there. So thank you so much. If you could actually call back and let us have your contribution.
So more on this godfatherism that you mentioned, I feel like it's way easier for men to have a godfather and have this easy interaction or relationship. But then when it comes to women, they cannot push forward. There is this limitation that politics tend to put on women, whereby if you do something... Okay.
All right, just before you answer that, let's have more calls. Hello, good morning. Hello. All right, Talking about
we
limitations.
seem to be missing a lot of people. This is an interesting topic. Please keep trying until you're able to reach us. Okay. So, yes, what do you think women need to do to push out? Okay.
All right, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Yusuf. I'm calling you from Mina, Niger State.
All right, Yusuf from Mina. Let's have your contribution on the issue.
On the issue of our youth, inclusiveness and politics and way forward.
Yes, please.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's very, very important because even in Nigeria now, if we are to look at the number of the people that will vote, is the youth that has the largest vote to give. So including the youth is very, very important. And issue of just as the guest here has just spoken, the issue of the godfatherism of the thing too, you understand, is it has its own advantage and disadvantage. Because some people will just put a youth in a position today and always expect what they decide for him to do is what he will do. And maybe that particular person has his own foresight, has his own plan, or has his
ideas.
Addition. So they will tend to. So issue of the godfatherism is part of what the challenges we are having. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution. So you heard that, and it's actually a big issue.
Yeah, that is why I use the word mentor. We don't need a godfather, we need a mentor. That godfatherism is simply to abuse the process. But certainly we need mentors who will guide us, we will follow, so that we'll be able to succeed.
Okay, so you asked a question earlier.
Okay, yes, I asked a question about the youth. Okay, let's even pick on female, where I said that they always have this disadvantage when it comes to the whole process in politics, because a woman is a man can just come out, he might not be married, and he would want to go into politics, and there will be a level of respect that will be given to him. But then imagine a young woman, say she's 30, 35, and she can run for an office, but then she's not married, or she is married, but then there is a level of restriction. You're not being respected. There's a lot of challenges like that. Would you say that that is the main reason why some women are not pushing themselves out there?
You see, earlier I talked about the limitations, religion and culture have actually created, not just to women, but also to the youth generally. So this is something we need to pursue vigorously over time, through campaigns, through understanding. When you talk about, those who are married, through understanding between husband and wife, effective communication, they will be able to agree if she has the ambition. As I speak, we have...
Oh, hello, good morning.
Thank you. I want to contribute to your program.
Yes, please tell us your name and your location.
My name is Omale. I'm calling from Abuja.
All right, Omale, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, let me commend your guest here. He has really tried from what he said, especially when it comes to this mentorship and godfatherism thing. And he talks about followership. Of course, if you are not taught, you can't just jump to university without going through primary school and secondary school. So we find out that most people today, they just want to become president without even going through that mentorship. You have to go through all these things. Even being a councillorship, just to go for councillorship in the world, you have to follow people for some time, get their support and whatever before you go. And you must always have one person at the head as your mentor. Because this idea of godfatherism thing, I think we should downplay it. If you use mentorship, I think it's better. Because this godfatherism thing, we see it as a kind of they are like rulers. They force you to do whatever they want. But when you have a mentor can guide you. You see how he does his thing, then you follow up and even improve on what he has done or something like that. I think I agree with him. If the youth can be able to keep our heads down low and follow others, you'll be able to achieve our aims.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Omale, for your contribution this morning. We appreciate it. Now, he talked about, what I want to actually add to this. What I actually want to add to this is the fact that, it's money politics that has been practiced in Nigeria. And for youths, we know where the youths are. Where do they get their money from? Most of them, their means of income is very, very humble, right? And you need a lot of money to actually, get to a certain level when it comes to politics. And that's why most of them actually use their godfathers, because they sponsor them. So what happens? What about the money politics being practiced?
I think there is an alternative if we are really committed as the youth. He just mentioned, I think one of the callers or this one mentioned that we have the numerical strength. If you have the number and you have someone you believe can perform if he's elected into any, political office, why don't you use your number, support them? The money that is needed is for campaigns. You can organize yourself in such a way that you don't need to spend a lot when it comes to campaign.
What about buying of forms and the enormous amounts that these parties...
with the number, contribute 100 naira, you'll be able to raise the money. You'll be able to raise the money.
You make it sound easy.
I think it is as easy as I said it, because if you can give 100 naira to your candidate, all the youth, okay, we want Mr. A to become our representative at the National Assembly. We contribute, maybe one local government, 2 local governments, we believe in him, we trust that he'll be able to deliver. Contribute 100 naira.
I think Adamu Garba actually did, something like that.
Pardon?
Adamu Garba, he actually, sought contribution from...
To buy the form, yes.
To buy the form.
Yes, he did. How much did he raise? A lot of money. So it's as simple as that. Once you'll be able to multiply, you'll be surprised at what you'll arrive, with. So it's just a matter of commitment and belief that this is what we want to do and we are committed to achieving it. So you'll be able to do 100 naira. You just transfer 100 naira. Once the number is big, you have no problem.
All right, good morning, and thank you for joining us. Tell us your name and location.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Ismail calling from Niger State.
All right, Ismail, let's have your contribution.
Yeah, I really appreciate your guest in the house.
Thank you.
Yeah, and also you, the presenter.
Thank you.
Actually, the issue of youth inclusiveness in politics and way forward is a very important topic from your side. And I think one of the major problems we have in this country is that we, the youth, we are not that serious. Our so-called elders, because there was a time I was watching my TV, I overheard this clerk, for Niger Delta, Edwin Clark, was saying they will never be at life and allow you to lead them. I overheard him say that. So, but thank God with what Mr. Mutara said now, if we the youth are serious, definitely we can bring a lot of change in this country. As he said, we have people who have the potential, but what would they convince people with? It's money. If we the youth are so serious, we can do it in the way that you suggested. We can contribute. How much is 100 naira, even 1,000 naira for every individual. Believe you me, if we are so ready, we are going to make a lot of things in this country. This country is being messed up. We have a lot of potentials. I want to talk of human potential. I want to talk of natural resources. But look at today, we are one of the most poorest countries in this world. We have all the potentials. So all we need is good leadership. What we are lacking is good leadership. But I believe with the youth that have this country at heart, if we can support them to come into power, definitely we are going to make a lot of change. And I pray to God, very soon we shall have this change in this country. Have a nice day.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution, Mr. Mukhtar.
And based on what the caller said, he mentioned that even that some of the leaders are the elites actually decide who at the end of the day comes out winning the primaries and all that. So whatever youth has the people, he has the people that he can carry along, but then he does not have that support from the elite.
But you have the numerical strength. Decide for yourself. Let's have belief in ourselves. We will do it. Who are the voters? The youth and women. They constitute the greatest, the highest number of the voters. So decide for yourselves. I don't agree. You see, there is something about hard work. I want to say something before we finish this program. You started talking about the female as, you know, hard work pays. Get into it and you'll be able to get whatever you want. I wanted to, you know, before someone, you know, called, I wanted to mention of a gubernatorial candidate in Adamawa State. A female. Binani. Do you know why I like her movement? Simply because she's a true politician. Now, she is working hard for whatever she is looking for. And if you see someone doing, you know, in the trenches, mobilizing, trying to get whatever they want, I believe you will be definitely, encouraged. You'll be excited that for once you have someone who is trying so hard to achieve what they want.
Let's not forget the only female senator.
Thank you very much. Senator, thank you. From the north. And
only.
Look at, she's from the northern part of the country.
Yeah.
So with hard work, commitment, there is nothing you cannot get.
But is the north ready for a female governor?
Well, time will tell. Time will tell. At least we are, you see, things cannot happen overnight, as I said earlier. It will have to start from somewhere and then, get to the actual destination you want to go. So we never had it like this. Let other females try it. Let other young men try it. But the issue is that you should know that whatever happens, when you come in, you have to definitely add value to the process. Otherwise, you block the chances of others who will be coming later, because there will not be trust in your, in the people of your kind.
What about the notion of women in politics as being seen as bad, like bad eggs? That's how they view
I think the notion is changing. I have talked about religion. I have talked about culture. The notion is changing, and you see, as I said, always look inwards. The females now will have to now sit down and think, okay, why are they, seen that way? Probably there are one or two changes they need to make. So always look inside before you look outside.
Well, it's actually also worthy to note that, in the north, aside being a governorship candidate, Kaduna State also has
the deputy governor. And she's doing well.
Yes,
she's doing well. So I think it's all about participation.
Yeah. That's true. All right. Well, with that, we would have to wrap up this very, very interesting conversation. And sadly, we cannot take more of your calls. But, just keep it a date with us next week. We'll be back on Saturday. And we'll open up the phone lines for you to, discuss more topical issues. And we just finished speaking to our guest, Mukhtar Ahmed Jarmajo. And he is a lecturer in architecture, a certified management consultant, and a public affairs commentator. He's also a member of the Bauchi State APC Governorship Campaign Council. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You are most welcome.
All right, with that, we'll go on a quick break, and when we return, the show continues. Stick around.
Always there. That's great. It's good to see you.
All right, welcome back, and thank you for staying with us on Daybreak Extra. And just before we introduce our next guest on the show, it's just to remind you that Media Trust, in collaboration with CDD, is hosting a town hall meeting in Katsina State at the moment. Our team, is actually there to cover the event, and this particular event is a governorship, Debates, yes, the governorship debate. So 5 candidates, in Katsina State, gubernatorial candidates in Katsina State are expected to grace the occasion and will be entertaining questions as regards their manifesto. It's happening today, 10 a.m. All right, so with that, we'll move on to, the show.
Okay, welcome back. On today's topic, we'll be talking about what are the aspects of a good 3D interior design. And 3D design is advancing, is cost efficient, faster, more effective and easier, while providing clients with a better understanding of the idea. Now it has become available to a wider range of people since we live in a fast-paced and ever-changing world. 3D design has turned the real estate industry on its head. And 3D designs are used to change and beautify houses, hotels, offices spaces, and lounges, amongst others. To discuss the aspects of a good 3D interior design is Zungwe Bem Emmanuel, the installer. Welcome, Zungwe.
Good morning, and thank you for
Good morning. It's good to have you on Daybreak Extra.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, so talking about 3D design, right? A lot of people know what interior design is all about, but what makes it different from 3D design?
Okay, the 3D aspect is it gives it a different look, give the whole place a different look. Like it's so durable, modern stylish, and it's lasts as long as the whole building. It's also fireproof and also waterproof.
Is that the same thing with POP?
No.
Okay. Explain. Can you explain to us?
Okay. We have the 3D, and the 3D we have the 3D epoxy, which carries the vinyl, and we still have that on the flooring. We have a 3D vinyl. We have a 3D vinyl. I also have metallic floors, and we have glitters floor, which the glitters floor has most of those shiny stuff people have on your clothes. Yeah. It includes that. Of which the metallic floors doesn't have the the glitters stuff. And it doesn't have the vinyl. Of which the 3D epoxy flooring, it has the picture and the vinyl under. So that's the differences of the floor. Of which we also have wall murals, like normal wallpapers, but those ones are advanced than wallpapers. We have 3D, we have 5D and 8D. Of which the 3D, if you touch it, it's just normally smooth. But of which the 5D, if you touch it, the shapes of the animals or shape of anything that's on it, if you touch it, you feel the shapes. So that is the difference.
Okay, that's the difference. Like bringing these designs into life. To life, yes, to life, and not So, like these ones, you know, that's showing on the screen. It looks actually lifelike. Like the fish is actually coming into your sitting room. So that's the whole idea behind. How?
I would say he mentioned something about the floor.
Okay.
And
he talked about vinyl,
Yes, and I was curious. You know, there are homes that you enter and then you would see like live animals. Is it actually live animal? Because I see maybe fishes, just like the picture there. You see fishes around and I get scared of, am I supposed to walk on this?
Yeah, you're supposed to walk on them, but they're not live animals, they're just pictures.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it 3D.
Yeah, that's
okay,
what makes
but then how lucrative, you know, is this 3D printing and also, you know, the designing? Because I know a lot of Nigerians prefer a traditional home, and you know, the 3D thing makes it look excessive.
No, the idea about the whole stuff is it's what you want. So just imagine now, we'll create it for you. Unlike the designs, most of the designs will have graphic designers that get it for us. So when a client needs, let's say, samples, we'll get them. Now we'll have samples of our past works, we'll bring them. So we'll show it to you. If you don't see anyone you like or you want, just imagine, just think whatever you want, because we have an AI tool as well. Nowadays, it's a very civilized world. So we have an AI tools. We have AI tools which, if you just explain what you want. Let's say if you want a blue bird on a blue sea, just type it on the AI website and they will give you the picture.
Okay.
Yeah, so just imagine what you want and we'll give it to you.
Oh, I thought it was already something that's already there, that you can just pinpoint and say, this is what I want.
Yeah, most of the sites they have those qualities. We'll just go there, we'll pay for them, we'll receive them, we'll download them. They give us the access. We'll download them, we'll take it to our clients. So they choose the one they want. And if they could not find the one they want there, they just give us the idea of what they want. So we'll go to the AI tool. It's also a website. So we'll get it from there.
So how is this, like how does this process work? We know that when it comes to, I don't know, do they call wallpaper 2D? Is that 2D?
Yes, that's 2D.
Okay, so you go to the market, pick them up, and we see them applying gums to it, you know, to be on the wall. But how is this 3D process? Like, can you run us through the process?
Same thing?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start on the flooring first.
Okay.
So on the flooring, the floor, first of all, must be very smooth.
Okay.
It must be smoothing, like it must be smoothed and leveled. Then before you apply it, there are certain processes that must go through before. There are like 5-6 steps to finish the whole work.
Okay.
It's at first you arrange your floors, you dust. You must make sure that there's no dust on the floor. You must make sure that the whole ground is leveled. And if you're to walk on the floor and you realize most of the spaces most of the tiles, they have spaces under them.
Okay,
you have to remove them.
Yes.
So that you make sure that there's no space under the tiles.
Okay, I remember when we're doing the wall in my house, and then they had to do, I've forgotten the word. Thank you. Is it screening? Screening, exactly. Okay, they had to do that in order to have this smooth surface. So that's the same thing you're
that's
saying.
the same thing.
Okay.
So after you blow up the dust, then you apply the first step, which is the component.
Sorry, before you continue, now when you talk about, you know, making it smooth, you know, it depends on what kind of, how you intend to, what you intend to use. I know a lot of people actually use it, German floor. German floors, yes. Is that the best type of floor to use, or are there other floors?
No, the most important thing is that the floor must be strong. Whether normal cement or German floor or tiles, but it must be strong, and it mustn't have holes under, and
Okay.
spaces
Yeah,
under,
definitely.
and it must be
Perfect.
perfect.
Okay. So what next?
So after then, that is the step one. Of which the step 2 is applying this component A, component A. You mix it together, then you apply on the floor, and you leave it about 6 to 12 hours for it to get settled and dry, so that if there's any species, so that heat will not from the under.
Okay,
you know,
to
come
ruin
out.
it.
Yeah,
That's
to
the
ruin-
purpose.
yeah,
Okay.
To cover everywhere. So after 6 to 12 hours, you come back. Then you apply the third step, which is the coating.
Okay.
Yeah, so you coat the floor. You also leave it for a few hours to get settled. Then you bring in the 3D.
Okay.
The 3D vinyl. You apply it on it, which is the fourth step. Then the last step, you apply the component A and B to make it smooth and bring out the glassy look, which reflects
The glassy look.
Yeah.
Speaking of the glassy look, you know, most times it gets slippery. Those glass. When you're seeing it, anyways, it looks
slippery.
it looks
it's
slippery.
actually
Let
not
me say,
slippery.
because it looks scary. Like it's like you looking at the mirror, or you know.
Yeah.
So how you're trying to tell me it's not as slippery as it looks?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the ones in the toilet? You know, we've had tiles accidents and all that. Does it apply to 3D?
Yeah. So after then, we have anti-scratch. This one, even if you use knife, it will not scratch. No matter what scratch is table on it, it will not scratch. So after the whole everything, we apply anti-scratch on it, so that it will not scratch. No, it won't be slippery. So it's normal.
So it's safe.
Yeah, it's safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you go about designing, you know, these 3D? Do you design them yourself, or do you order them from?
We order them online.
Oh, so you don't actually manufacture these?
No.
Okay, applications yourself.
Okay. So you're more you are the installer.
But you install them, but you order them. Wouldn't it be a lot cheaper for you to actually manufacture them yourself, considering how the economy is?
Actually, the quality differs. And it depends on the design the person wants. So if you feel the design, it's not that, it won't be that stressing, and you feel you have somebody that can do it, give you the exact result you want, then you go ahead. But if you feel the person, it's a person, kind of person that wants taste, and you too, if you want to give them that taste they want, you give them better qualities, because actually the designs from there, they actually have much more qualities. The qualities are high.
Okay, so when designing a room or a house, what is the most important factor to consider?
Okay, when designing a room or a house, if the building is just coming up, or if it's already a house that people are already staying in,
An old house.
if it's already a house that people are already staying in, you just have to go there and have a look of the whole place. And if there are places where you should touch, let's say retouch, to make everything set for your work, you touch. But if it's a building that is just coming up, or they are just finishing, and you're already there before they finish the work, maybe you will just direct them on how to set the floors and the walls for you, so that the work will be easier for you to set out, to install.
Okay, so just look at their screen. There's this beautiful, amazing feather that it feels like I could actually touch.
Yeah.
Are this all part of the 3D?
Yeah.
This is how it's done on the houses. So whatever you want, you get.
You get.
Oh.
If it's your picture you want, you get.
So what if you're already living in a house and you want exactly this? Do you need to leave the house first?
Yeah, you need to leave the house, because when they are applying, when they are working, installing it, you don't need anybody to go in. Because immediately you just touch it, the whole work will be damaged.
Oh.
That's without
How long
the
does it
set.
take then?
It depends on the variety of the work. Depends on how big the work is.
Okay.
But let's say if it's just this place, it will take like a week.
What?
A week to get it done.
So if someone wants to get it done, you have to leave your house for 1 week.
Leave your house.
And maybe it's me, then I have to go to Huseina's house.
Sure, definitely.
Okay, all right. You talked about, them having to leave the house and all that. But then before you actually, the client approves, what kind of questions do you have to ask him? What do you have to know about, you know, the particular job you're about to do?
Okay, the most important thing is what he wants. You just ask him to give you an idea of what he wants, how he wants it to look. Then it's already at work. We'll know. Just think, and we'll give it to you as you want it.
Have you ever had any criticisms or, you know, negative comment after you finished the work, and what did you do about it?
Actually, I've not had once.
Nobody has said, I don't like the way this thing looks. This is not what I gave you to do or something.
No. Oh. I've not had one because I'm always very careful because nobody would risk their money to give you because it requires a huge amount of money. So nobody will risk their money to give you, then you end up being careless with your work. You have to take your time. You have to take your time. Tell them what you need, the requirements. So if they're not willing to do it, for you not to ruin your reputation or your work or your stuff, you just have to tell them your clear mind if you can do it or not. Than compromising it, then at the end of the day not giving them the results they were expecting or the results they want.
You speak about price. Can an average man afford 3D? How pricey is it?
It's quite expensive.
Wow.
So
what's the estimate?
Boy.
Say estimate for a wall.
Depends on the size.
The size.
Because we do it in square meters. Yeah.
But just an average family home. Let's say you want to change your sitting room.
Yeah,
how can an average man budget? Yes, afford it.
For a sitting room, a normal size sitting room, can budget about close to a meal.
Just for the walls?
For an average night, say a meal.
The floor.
Okay. Now it seems like a very lucrative business then. So what are the challenges that you people have experienced in this work?
The challenge is there's one certain time I was doing somebody's bedroom and they had to pack all their stuffs from the bedroom to the parlor. So a little baby, one small girl, she hanged her toy on the wall. So after we did everything, we were left to go back and do the final touch, of which it was after 3 days that we were supposed to go back. So when we went there, we just saw footsteps on it. Like I was damn. Like damn, what's this? But it seems that all of them, they knew, because I had already told them that nobody should step into the house. But it's the house, I cannot carry the key. I'm not going to.
So the footsteps actually, you know, puts a touch of
an extra art.
I'm telling you, a touch of chaos on the walk.
When it's not dried, no one's allowed to go in, because if you go in, you actually ruin the whole thing, and the beauty it won't be there again.
That seems really interesting.
Okay.
So
all right, so
talking about the ceiling morals, we have two different types, which one has lights in them, but that one's so damn expensive. Then one is just the normal, we just apply, we just install it.
Yeah, you talked about lights now, and it just occurred to me that, you know, unlike the normal traditional home, for the 3D effect to actually come out, to pop, you actually need lightning. Yes. So how do you go about that? What kind of lights do you use? Is it different from, you know, the usual?
No, it's not really different. It's not different from the usual, but as of the ceiling stretch, this particular one, it comes with its light. This one, it comes with its lights. And this one, it normally has its fittings and settings. So, and if you're to apply that one, you don't need a POP or anything. The roof have to, the ceiling has to be open like that for you to install it. Yeah.
Okay. That really seems interesting. We'll have to budget for it then.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so I think with this, we've actually come to the end of this particular discussion. Thank you so much for joining us this beautiful morning.
I really appreciate it.
And telling us, you know, giving us an in-depth understanding on 3D interior design. Yes. All right, we'll take a quick break and we'll be back shortly. On to Daily Hustle to find out how Nigerians are actually faring on a daily basis. Take a look.
A stylist is someone that is into the making of hair, fixing of lashes, making of it. Then the salonist is someone that foresee almost everything. I'm the manager of this place, so I manage everything. I know more of styling and everything, but I don't make it. I started officially last year. But you know, as a girl now, I know how to dress my hair, all these things. I've been into it since I was a baby. But professionally, I started last year. That was 2021. If I had had the chance while I was younger, I would have learned how to make hair, because having your own vocational skills is much more better than white collar job. Because white collar job, if you offend your boss, reduction, and before the end of the month, the salary, you've already even borrowed. In this place, in these services, we actually started with laundry services. Yes, then little by little we saw that, okay, in this environment, what do you think people love to do, and what do you think is economical, and what do you think we can get our profits from? And I said, oh, barbering, males come here every time. You know, males, they can, even if your barbering salon is inside hole, they will follow you there. Okay. So we started with barbering also. That's the second business. Then before we knew it, ladies were always coming, please, we need salon where we make hair. And I was like, there's no salon outside this place. We can actually create one. So we created a small space for it inside this shop. Before we knew it, customers started trooping in, and we were marketing with people that we also have a unisex salon, and people started coming, and before we knew, we had to create a bigger space for it. A lot of challenges. Number one, workers. Like I said, if I had learned how to make hair right from time, nobody would be doing me shakara or anything. People would have done, I would have been able to do a lot of customer hair I've lost. So workers, they believe that because they have their handwork, they can leave at any time. Some would say, okay, because of the end of the month, I'm collecting salary because of the end of the month, let me just act. And you just say, because they are not interested in working again, instead of them telling me they are not interested in working again, all of a sudden when I pay, they won't come again. So that is a big disadvantage for this business. Expenses, NEPA bills. Oh Lord. Well, no light, and we are using generator. Because I saw the generator expenses, buying fuel and everything, we had to install inverter. Okay, now there's also disadvantage to the inverter also, understand? But the disadvantage of buying fuel, it's out of it. It's much better using inverter than buying fuel almost every time. It's not like we don't still buy fuel, because there are some things inverter won't carry. You understand? So we used to buy fuel sometimes, but not as much as before. Before we can buy fuel twice in a week. What are we using? And it's full liter, 10 liters. So you understand? So the mail will have to barb. Just how much are we barbing? 500 naira. You understand? One customer works in our to barb, you have to put on the generator. That fuel has gone. You understand? How much are we making from 500 naira? If we start calculating, we calculate the commission the barber will collect, we calculate the expenses. How much are we left with? Nothing less than 100 naira or so. And so we are for barbing 500 naira, we are using 100 naira for fuel on the person. And you know, there are some people's head has disadvantage also. You might think you barb within 5 minutes. Meanwhile, their head, as you are doing it, you have to take like 30 minutes, and they won't want to pay more than the money. It's 500 and they are going to pay. So that's it. Disadvantages, expenses on buying things. You don't, let's say for the first 1 year and a half, you would think you're not making money because you are renewing the things you're buying, like cream, gel. You have to start renewing it, you understand? So, and if you're not careful about things you buy, the product you buy, you will lose customers. So you have to buy the quality. It wasn't easy for me. It wasn't really easy for me because I thought I could do it easily, but it wasn't. Of recent, I had exams, and during the exam, they would start calling me, hello manager. I'll be like, don't you people realize I'm going for exam? I'm already in my exam hall. Hello manager. I'll be like, okay, you know what? calm down. How much I had to write the list again of things before I go to the market and come back. Something I bought 2 days ago is actually different from what I'm buying now. I'm like, you know what? Let me just finish my exam. When I'm done, I'll come back here. But I'm exhausted from school. I come here again. Some customers will be like, manager this, manager that. And I'll be like, oh, I'm dead. Sometimes when I just fall asleep, to wake up is the problem. I'm like, just leave me, let me sleep. It's really exhausting, really, really exhausting. I attended Tertiary University of Education, where vocational skills, it's not compulsory, but it's necessary. You know, when they say something is necessary, 1 unit course can make you have extra year. Just 1 unit. Sometimes you hear 1 unit like other courses will cover it up, but that 1 unit course can actually make you have extra year. I have some of my friends that went into fish farming because they learned to doing the vocational skills, which is VOS in school. Some fruit juice, they're into juice. Some hairdressing. I actually did textile and design in school. So some of my friends, when they need it, they'll be like, Ziza, I know you're good in this. Try and help us to that. So vocational skill, I know everybody wants to learn everything now. YouTube is good in helping because some will not want to stand with some bosses for like 2 hours and they'll be like, show me your penny. Listen to what I'm doing. Look at, you're standing for almost 8 hours. It's not easy. And some customers are not helpful also because you're standing for like 8 hours to make somebody say, and the person end up giving you 2,000 naira. So there's no joy in that, you understand? So I really want people, the youth of nowadays, they should actually learn a vocational skill. It is compulsory because if those days when I told my parents I wanted to learn hairdressing because I had passion for it, I had passion for styling hair and everything, they were like, no, Islamically it's haram. So they made me learn tailoring, which I'm not interested in. My whole mind is not in it, just hairdressing. This hairdressing, I started learning it from YouTube. How to fix nails, yes. How to fix nails, how to make hair, how to do all these designs. I learned it from YouTube, not from any other person. And since I started here, I started putting my eye in few things like barbing. I'm into barbing also. I'm into barbing. I'm into making of hair. So I learned it from the staffs I've had long before now. Some of them will be too occupied to work. I will need to assist. You understand? So when I'm assisting, I'm already doing. I've learned it. My name is Oladipo Azizat. My dad is engineer Oladipo Ibrahim Dolapo, and my mom is Mrs. Oluwakemi Bushra Oladipo. And I have 2 siblings, which my elder sister is Oluwakoyinsinola Oladipo, and my younger brother is Oladipo Olajide Abdulhamid. And like I'm the second born actually. So I attended Tertiary University of Education for my BSc, currently in National Open University for my master's degree. And I've been in Abuja for like close to 3 years. I guess so. This business I've been managing it for the past 3 years since we began. Okay, I'm from Lagos State, Ometiosa. I'm from Agungi, precisely. Yes, but I grew up in Ibitimeta, so I used to claim mainland girl. So males that come into the female section of what they do, they put more passion and love than the females. So females are always doing all this, their shakara, and males are always like, I want the money. I have girlfriend to give money at home. I have mother to send money at home. I have kids to attend to.
All right, welcome back. That was my daily hustle, and you know, it's actually a good thing to see that a lot of Nigerians are still pushing and doing whatever it takes to keep, you know, the income flow coming in and, you know, keeping food on their tables, doing whatever it takes, not on negative aspect, by the way. So, yes, talking about what is also going to be happening today in Katsina State is the Katsina Gubernatorial Town Hall meeting. It is a debate featuring 5 gubernatorial candidates, and you know, they will be addressing the audience and they'll be entertaining questions pertaining to their manifestos. And you know, this kind of forum actually gives the people, you know, the masses, an opportunity to get to know who their candidates are, you know, what they have, you know, or what they're going to bring to the table, and this will help them determine who to vote
for.
Yes, who to vote for, you know, and who would actually, you know, change their lives for the better when the time comes. Okay, so, you know, our team is also on ground, live in Katsina State. It's going to happen at 10 a.m. and preparations are already on ground. There's 5, like I said earlier, 5 candidates actually expected. You know, our team will be asking the questions, they'll be handling the session, you know, and hopefully people of Katsina State will actually get what they want from the candidates. Already one of the gubernatorial candidates is already there. It's not even 10 o'clock yet, and it shows commitment. It shows that preparedness and seriousness as well. These are the kind of people that would love to see in power. You know, people who are ready to take on whatever comes their way and, you know, scale through it. Yeah.
I think things like this need to be done more. We've seen the West always doing this debate, like for every election, every party have to go, not party anyways, if it's a gubernatorial, you go for debates like that. If it's a senatorial, you go for debates, and then you need to prove to your people need to know you. Just like, I'm voting you because I know Husseina or I know this, but then let me know what your agenda is, what's your plan for us as the masses, and that way we'll get a better insight.
And how you intend to implement these ideas that you have on ground, because you know, one thing about Nigerians is, you know, yes, they have so many beautiful ideas, but implementation is a problem. Even the government, it's an issue for them.
So if you should say this, how do you do this?
Definitely. And I think the same thing happened in some states. I think, is it Osun State or is it Oyo State? One of these states. Yes, it actually happened. I think it's Osun State, the debate. You know, we've seen the presidential town hall as well, you know, that Arise TV organized. And now we have even channels as well, you know, and we have Daily Trust, you know, organizing this particular one. So it's a good one. Kudos to the team, by the way. So we will be going on a quick breather right now. We'll be right back. Right now, entertainment. What is happening on the entertainment scene? A lot is happening in Nigeria and also abroad. Yes. And you know, one that actually hit us really hard, you know, is the fact that Kanye West.
Oh my God.
Two months after, you know, his divorce, is actually planning on tying the knot with his new lover Bianca Censori, right? And you know, do you know what comes to my mind when I see this is the fact that he just wants a family. He just wants to be taken care of.
Is it?
Yeah.
He's tied the knot.
They've tied the knot already. Oh, they've tied the knots.
They did yesterday, January 13th, and when I saw the news, I was shocked. Because, but anyways, I told myself, why would you be shocked? This is Kanye West we're talking about. He's been controversial all through 2022. And then he's here. Kanye is like our own Portable here.
Are we ignoring the fact that the lady looks like Kim Kardashian?
Oh, there's that obsession. I think most of his girls is either he dressed them to be Kim or they look like Kim. Yes, she has been his longest relationship. She's been his wife for years. So I don't blame him for being that obsessed with a particular spec when it comes to a lady.
You know, I've actually seen situations where people who cannot have you turn around to either date or marry people who look like you.
Yes, and that's the situation. You know, Kanye's bipolar. He's a sad person. He's a sad person. So I feel like his sadness has actually made him run or just pick on different decisions like that.
All right, so a lot of couples are actually trending on social media right now. What about Olu Jacobs and his wife Ireti Doyle? She talks about...
No, not Ireti,
Joke Silva.
Yeah, I know you like Ireti.
Olu Jacobs and Joke Silva, who reveals how she manages his health. You know, that's why you're supposed to marry someone who truly, truly loves you.
True.
You know, who cares about you, someone who treats you like the queen or the king. Imagine if you had treated her with disdain. And
she wouldn't have stuck around.
Exactly.
Just like Julius August and his wife, when he was sick and he was expecting her to stick around, but she left. Yeah, but then Joke Silva, she actually took time off the limelight just to spend time with her husband, because it was just recently we saw her coming back to the movie scene. So I would say that is one dedicated marriage.
And I think it actually helped that, you know, she's 19 years younger than he is. You understand? So, you know, it gives her that strength, that courage, and, you know, to be able to take care of him. Imagine if they're like 2 years apart. Who would take care of who?
One person will have to be strong for the other. I know that's what marriage is all about.
Yeah.
So there are these amazing entertainment couples that people are loving, because right now I feel like a lot of people on social media are attacking marriages and saying you should not look up to any celebrity, but then look up to your parents. Yeah, but then Joke Silva and Olu Jacobs are giving us this marriage supportive
advice. And one other couple we're actually looking up to is Ireti and Patrick Doyle.
No, are we?
I always look at, because they're such a cute couple together, you know, and they've been together for a really, really long time. They've been married for a really, really long time.
They already
right
officially
now divorced.
Yes.
Like, it is so sad.
They said they have. And
it's so sad to know.
Those are two people they call power couple.
You know, if you're divorcing and you've spent so many years together, what is it that you've been through in all these years that you can't stick around to push through even in your old age?
I feel like it all comes with not addressing issues early. Yeah, maybe there's a lot of things that has been piled up that you were overlooking before, and then
if you can overlook them, then you can overlook them.
When you don't address them, Husseina, that's the problem. It gets filled up, and before you know it, you explode, and it becomes
so that's why it's good to talk about things.
It's better to address them. Yes.
Address them.
If not, these are power couple. Ireti is this fashionable style, an amazing actor.
By the way.
Exactly. And then Patrick Doyle,
when he speaks,
oh my God, the charisma. And let's not forget this young, beautiful love, Davido and Chioma. What?
He paid the bride price.
Yes,
finally.
It's official. They're married.
You know,
but then they got tattooed yesterday.
Yeah, on their ring fingers, right? So they don't need rings or what? I don't understand.
It's just their own weapon. See, Chioma and Davido have literally been off social media for a while, but they have trended all through.
Yeah, the death of their son, I think, actually brought them together.
Yes. They have their rings on their fingers, and then I just feel this is just another statement. You know Davido, how he is. Davido is the kind of person that likes to show his love for his people. You know, even his staffs, everyone around.
As it should be. Not a lot of men these days actually hide. You know,
and there's this scandal coming out about his cousin's Sheena Rambo's
and him and his wife.
Yes,
the mother-in-law. They're separated.
They've separated, yes. But then yesterday I saw the mother-in-law saying that Davido threatened her. You know, the fans of Davido were going for, or the fans of the Adele case, they were going for the Courtney, saying that she's dragging the whole entire family in the mud. She's not like Chioma, and then that pissed her off where she reacted and
there
said,
shouldn't be comparisons.
she said you shouldn't
because
compare
even her
me.
husband Shina Rambo is not like
Exactly. So Davido, I think, took it out of context, and then he told the mom. The mom shared their chat that he said that why would she call Chioma into this? Please leave my wife to mourn and all that. But then people are saying Davido should talk to his fans instead, because the woman only defended herself.
Okay.
So yeah, let's just leave these couples in their bubble, please.
All right. Well, I think with that we have actually come to the end. We have? Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So before we actually wrap up, there's this story about Kevin Spacey.
Yes.
We all know, if you watch a lot of American movies, if we watch a lot of American movies, you know who Kevin Spacey is, you know. And I don't know what it is with some of these very famous people and scandals, you know. Now, you know, he actually pleaded not guilty over a sex offense charges in a UK court. And according to, you know, details or reports, now he was actually charged for a sexual offense and everything, but he was slammed 3 extra charges, you know, recently for 3 counts of indecent assault, 3 counts of sexual assault, and 1 count of, that's even 7 counts of causing a person to engage in sexual activity without consent. And this was actually allegedly committed between 2001 to 2005.
And that's a long time. There's a lot of issues surrounding that, because some of the charges are said that they were not reported early.
Yes.
And then so that is one thing, and then he's already pleading not guilty. But then the thing about being a celebrity is that people are always coming to you. You have to be extra careful if you're a celebrity. You have to be extra careful to, you know, have certain things around you, because these things come back way, you know, years after to attack you.
Okay. All right, so right about now, talking about the Katsina State gubernatorial town hall meeting happening today in Katsina State, we actually have on standby Jamil Mabai, all the way from Katsina. Jamil Mabai, hi, thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, good morning, thank you very much. Hello, good morning, thank you very much. All right, as you can see currently now, some of the guests are arriving, and also one of the gubernatorial aspirants from PRP, Imran, you know, is here. So we're waiting for other gubernatorial aspirants to be here. As regards the arrangement, the stage and everything has been set. And if you can have a glance, I don't know if we can have a glance of the studio, you can see the stage is set, the banners are up. And one important point I would like to make is this town hall meeting is one of its kind. It has never happened in the history of politics in Katsina State. So this is the first of its kind, and they have decided to use the mother tongue language of the Katsina people to be the language of the Hausa. So I think one reason they chose Hausa to be the language of communication is for the audience whom are from, you know, society organization, so that they can be able to interface with the candidate. Also, some of the candidates can have to with ease to the audience. So as far as today is concerned, any moment at the program, but also one of the aspirants from APC, you know, he will not be able to attend the town hall meeting because, as he left the country. He went for lesser Hajj at Mecca. The SDP gubernatorial candidate Ibrahim Zakari Ibrahim is out of the country, but they are all sending in their deputy governors. So it's going to be an amazing program given the name, and it has never happened. So there is this enthusiasm from the guests and from everybody, and there's this enthusiasm trying to for the first time hearing what the aspirants, their messages, what they want to do. And also one of the advantages of this program, during campaigns, these aspirants, they don't have the time. They just go there and, shout, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But the composition, the arrangement here, it's going to be different from the normal political campaigning and what have you. They are going to have 10 minutes to talk to the people. Then questions and answers will follow up from the audience. So as far as today is concerned, I think so far this is all I can say about the program.
Okay. What would you say is the expectation at the end of today's gubernatorial campaign? What would you think people should expect to look forward to at the end of today's campaign, debate rather?
Okay, okay, a point of correction, it's a town hall meeting, and I think the reason why the people, the organizers chose to use town hall instead of the debate is to free the minds of the aspirants so that they wouldn't end up attacking one another and losing the message out. So the expectation is purely, maybe one or two things. One, the people of Katsina and our viewers today will make an informed decision on who they will vote for, because Katsina is a state ravaged by insecurity. Katsina is a state that is battling to raise internally generated revenue, and the issue of education. So I think these three things, with emphasis on security, are going to dominate the conversation today. And whoever among the candidates has a better plan, has a better approach to tackling security, I think that will go a long way in influencing the minds of the audience, the minds of Katsina people. So this, like I said, this is historic and strategic, and it's well commendable, knowing that election is within weeks from now. So by the end of it, by the end of today, people are going to at least have a clear blueprint on who their candidate is, how they think, what are their approaches to tackling our problem. And I believe people are going to be informed on what to do, and they will make up their minds.
All right, well, thank you so much, Demil Mabe, for giving us an update on the Katsina gubernatorial town hall meeting happening in 2 minutes. Yes, it will start by 10 a.m. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much.
All right, and I think with that, we've actually come to the end of Daybreak Extra this beautiful morning. Quite an exciting ride, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And I had an awesome time with you as well, Sumaya.
I did.
So hope to do this again next week, Saturday.
Same.
I'm Dasha and Husseina Usman. Have a fantastic weekend.
And I'm Sumaya Abubakar. Stay blessed.